Yo, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. Alright, so this video is more or less a discussion. I want to have a discussion with y'all. I want y'all to get it popping in the comments. I want y'all to listen to the video all the way through, and I want y'all to critically think about these questions, and hopefully we get some new people in here and they answer the questions, because I don't think any of y'all would be able to answer the questions. Some of y'all might be able to answer the questions, but I don't know. YouTube doesn't have a category for members of the LGBTQ community on the analytics, so I wouldn't know. Alright, so what I wanted to ask, right, is I want to ask the LGBTQ community, what gender roles and how do you teach your kids gender roles? Or do you even teach your kids gender roles? And the reason why I'm asking this question, right, I'm not trolling. I'm not trying to, upset anybody. If I upset you, then I just upset you. I don't care. I'm tired of the sensitivities and the feelings. You just get upset. I don't care. But there's a lot of people who aren't. They understand. We had to have these kind of social, discussions, and they can have them without being offended. So for those of you who are of that breed, of that stock, please come in. If you want to I can't believe he asked this. Well, you need to bounce. This isn't the place for you, okay? So the question that I want to know is, how do you do that? Because see, here's my issue, right? Currently, right, in the traditional world, the way that the world has been for a long time, we've had male, female gender roles, right? Currently, in society, there's issues with male and females. Clearly, you look at all the relationship content that you see on YouTube. You look at the anti-male content. You look at the anti-female content. You look at the red pill. You look at all of this stuff. And clearly, there's some issues. Some people say that it stems back to the household. What's going on with the household? A lot of males are being raised with, single-parent households, just moms. A lot of women being raised with just moms. So, the father influence in society is absent, and you see the feminine influence is starting to be on the rise. Now, my question is, do LGBTQ see themselves as masculine and feminine, and does that impact how you see or raise your child? How do you do the whole gender identity thing when it comes to energies? Like, when you see your child, and your child is, growing up, do you say, oh, this kid has that strong trans energy? Is that a thing? Like, how does that work? Because the thing is that the male and female institutions are almost ingrained into society. The first thing that's ingrained into society, as we all know, is white supremacy. But I would say gender expectations, gender roles, and establishment would be the next irreversibly ingrained thing into society. So how do you do that, right? We already have the issues with the athletics. We already have the issues with the bathrooms. There's debates going on about those. People believe that transgender women should be able to compete against females, which I'm completely against. They believe that transgender females should be able to use bathrooms, which I'm completely against. But not to turn this into a political, soapbox, but I want to ask the question, like, okay, like a LGBTQ person who listens to a heterosexual person and hears these issues that I may have with trans, integrating with women. You may not agree, but I'm sure you understand my talking points. I'm sure you understand the reasons that I would take issue with some of that kind of thing. So I don't think we really need to go into that. What I would like to explore, though, is the parenting roles. How do you assign the parenting roles in the LGBTQ family? And what if there's a polygamous LGBTQ family where there's, multiple partners, right? How does that work? Who chooses who raises the child? Who chooses what influence they have on what? See, because the way that I'm looking at this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like in the LGBTQ family, the only kind of sexual, spiritual, situational influence that would be able to be provided would be LGBTQ standards and whatever pejorative energy that the members of the family had. So if there's a dominant and a subordinate, what are we calling dominant and subordinate? See, because traditionally the way things have worked in society is a lot of times the dominant male is either taken by the man or it's either assigned to the man. But that's not always correct, because there's some dominant women. So sometimes a woman will take the dominant role, right? Or they'll be assigned the dominant role, or the dominant role will just come to them. But it's a female dominant. Men being dominant and women being dominant are two different animals. Women and men dominate in two different ways. Women are very intelligent, very perceptive. They can be manipulative, and they can weaponize all of their intuitions. They can be very schematic, very calculated. It's one of the ways that they dominate more in an intellectual fashion. Men, as we know, will traditionally dominate in a physical fashion, although there's many men who can pull it off intellectually, but there's not very many high IQ males out here. There's not a lot of fluid brain with men. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of things, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But how does that work with LGBTQ? So who's the dominant and who's the submissive? What roles are these LGBTQ dominant and submissive teaching their kids? And then what are we calling that? What are we calling it? And I'm just asking these questions because I want to know. And my question is, in the LGBTQ family, what if your child is straight? What if you just have a child that's just, he's just a male? What if you have a child that's just a female? How does that work? Who teaches that child how to appropriately be a male or a female? Or in an LGBTQ family, if a child comes out heterosexual, is that child looked at as defective? Should that child come out as LGBTQ? And I just want to know this. So my question is, if an LGBTQ family also has a heterosexual child, how do you deal with that dynamic? Do you feel appropriately equipped to be able to teach the realities of a heterosexual child? Teach the child how to be heterosexual? Teach the child how to be a man? Teach the child how to be a woman? How does that work? Who does it? Which one of y'all does it? How do y'all know which one to do it? So, I'm just curious, because in a world where we only have two genders, it's already very complex. So now we have multiple genders, but I'm not sure if the roles have been clearly defined, or the expectations have been defined, or if there are any at all. So this is why I want to open up this conversation, and maybe some LGBTQ people will do a reaction video to this where they could explain it, because you can only get so much out of the comments. But how do LGBTQ people deal with gender roles of their children? That's my question. I don't know the answer to that. So this video is just one big question, and maybe somebody had the answer. All right. So I hope nobody was offended. That wasn't the intention. I really don't care if you are or aren't, because my intention wasn't to offend you. So I hope that we can get a discussion popping off of this, because this is a topic that I think has not been explored at all. And I don't know how it hasn't, because that's kind of going to be a thing that confronts LGBTQ people who tend to want to have families, and families with kids that I don't know how they would get the kids, maybe foster care or whatever kind of surgeries or chemicals is going on, whatever. But I think that's something that needs to be considered. I don't know. Let Let me know what you think. Alright, so with that being said, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you already know what to do. Make sure you smash the like button, share this video out to all your followers, and I will catch you on the next one. Alright, peace.